That's as much as I lost last month, total. The feet are a little sore. It is day 6. We're walking 25,000 steps. Let's go. I think we can all agree humans aren't meant to sit 8 to 12 hours per day, but that's exactly what many Americans experience. 1 in 4 American adults sit for more than 8 hours a day. For the typical person, more than half of their day is spent sitting. And the normal office worker sits a shocking 15 hours every single day. And for me and much of the world now working in their homes, it can be fairly easy to sit the entire day except to walk to the kitchen for lunch or that quick snack. And of course, the occasional bathroom break. While sitting down all day may seem harmless, it truly has a negative impact on our health. By sitting for long periods of time, we become at greater risk of obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, stroke, and heart disease. Over the last few years, I've spent much of my workday either editing videos, writing scripts, storyboarding, or managing admin tasks for my businesses. Except for shoot days, I sit at my desk staring at my computer screen. On an average day where I make no effort to move more, I can easily rack up fewer than 3,000 steps. Knowing what I know about sedentary lifestyles and by seeing my health decline as a result, I wanted to make an improvement. I had a health competition going with my sister, and she was seeing great results from upping her step count from 10,000 to just 15,000 steps per day. I wondered what type of results I would see if I took 25,000 steps per day for 7 days. This is what happened. Day 3, day 4, 5. An average person walks 110 steps per minute. That's 6,600 steps per hour. So to get 25,000 steps, you'll be walking just under 4 hours every single day. For me, 10,000 steps gets me about 4.5 miles on average, making 25,000 steps just about 11.5 miles. I tracked all of this with my Fitbit, and I know we can argue about the accuracy of the Fitbit or any wearable health tech, but what else am I gonna use? And to answer your question before you ask, almost all of my steps over the 7 days came from walking. I only went for 1.5 mile run over the weekend with my wife. With that out of the way, here are my key takeaways from walking 25,000 steps per day for a week. Number 1, having a step goal made me way more active. Committing to a concrete goal is, kind of the best way to accomplish anything. And step count is no different. Because I had a metric I had to hit, no matter what, I was conscious of my current steps, and I was always looking for ways to get more steps. Dog needs to go out, I'll take her. While we're out, oh, here we are, let's take a short walk. I was actually listening to my Fitbit telling me, reminding me to get more steps, to get up and move. And by the end of the week, I didn't even need the reminder. I would just get up and run around my apartment when I could feel my focus slipping at my desk. Number 2, taking 25,000 steps per day makes 10 or 15,000 seem way easier. Before this challenge, sometimes my good days landed me around 8,000 steps. That's just not moving enough. And so a major reason for attempting this challenge was to overshoot and eventually land on 10 to 15,000 as an average goal for my daily life. Mission accomplished. And 10 to 15,000 steps only feels really easy because getting 25,000 steps per day when you're also trying to work a full day is really hard. And because I've attempted to increase my daily steps before, I was prepared for that difficulty. A standing desk treadmill was my savior. It allowed me to go through my work week and my work day and get 10,000, 15,000 easy steps throughout that time. It always depended on what I was doing for my work that day though. If you're walking on a treadmill and trying to type, it doesn't work very well. The same can be said for editing videos. The mouse just moves a fraction and you've clicked the wrong thing and you've deleted stuff. Even so, on the days where I was doing admin tasks, emails, watching different content, doing research, all of that stuff, I could be walking on the treadmill that entire time, knocking out 2 hours of walking, and you're halfway to your goal. But throughout the 7 days, there were definitely busy work days, and those days where I was doing work where I couldn't be walking. And when 5 p.m. rolled around, I was left with 20,000 10,000 steps to do. I'd go on a long walk on the beach path to get about 10,000 steps, then come home, eat dinner, and then walk on the treadmill until midnight. And I can tell you, cramming 20,000 steps into a few hours at the end of the day was not good for my knees. But even if you don't have a treadmill or the funds to get one, a standing desk honestly is probably the best asset you could have to fix your sedentary workday. Even when I'm just standing without the treadmill, I'm so much more likely to engage my body with micro movements. I'm more likely to get up and walk away from the desk as I'm brainstorming and thinking about different aspects of my business. Plus, the more walking I do, the less stressed I feel for the most part. This may not be completely true when I was cranking out 5,000 steps at 11 p.m., but even then, it was straightforward, it was simple, and it was fairly easy. All I had to do was walk. This was a far different experience from my burpee challenge the few times when it was 9 p.m. and I had over 100 burpees to finish. On the opposite end of those burpees, walking has been shown to lower cortisol or stress levels. And I do find it to be a great relief, a fantastic way to begin and end my day with a long walk. But I have had morning and evening walks in my routine sporadically for years, mainly because of walking my dogs. It wasn't until this challenge I really saw a benefit in midday walks, because walking does in fact give you a mental creative boost. One Stanford University study found that walking increased creative output by an average of 60%. Researchers labeled this type of creativity divergent thinking, which they define as a thought process used to generate creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions.
Welcome to the office.
According to the study, walking opens up the free flow of ideas, and it's a simple and robust solution to the goals of increasing creativity and increasing physical activity. While I can't actually measure this outcome in my experiment, I did notice a difference. I've always taken the approach that if I'm stuck on something, I get away from the desk and I take a walk. Many of my breakthroughs occur on walks, and these 7 days were no different. When we engage in activities that allow our minds to wander, we're setting ourselves up for aha moments. And increased creativity isn't the only mental benefit we gain from walking. I also saw a noticeable elevation of my mood throughout these 7 days. And since the challenge has ended, I've continued my lengthy morning walks of about 10,000 steps because I honestly just love the mental state that leaves me in for the rest of the day. I feel accomplished, like I've given myself headspace and taken care of myself physically at a baseline level right at the start of the day. Walking became a category of meditation for me. Studies suggest that a 10-minute walk may be just as good as a 45-minute workout when it comes to relieving symptoms of anxiety and boosting mood. And in case you're like me and are interested in extra benefits, walking has also been shown to improve memory and prevent the deterioration of brain tissue as we age. And of course, walking burns calories. As a collegiate athlete, I never thought of walking as an exercise, and I think that's held me back over the last 6 years since graduating college. Because even on the busiest days, if your schedule isn't allowing a home workout or gym time, or you're feeling tired, walking is better than nothing, and might actually be better than some more traditional methods of exercise. And it can be a lot better form of exercise for you if you have knee or ankle or back problems or pain, or if you're overweight, because it causes far less impact on your body and joints than running, and most people can likely walk longer than they can run. And when comparing the results of the most recent National Runners Health Study with the National Walkers Health Study, researchers found that the energy used for moderate intensity walking and vigorous intensity running resulted actually in similar reductions in risk for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and heart disease over the study's 6-year period. So if you've ever thought that you didn't have what it takes to reduce those risks in your own body, walking is all it takes. Which leads me to the results you've probably been waiting for. Number 1, my calories burned every day seriously spiked. Even if the calories burned function isn't completely accurate on the Fitbit, I do see it being fairly consistent over the last 2 years of wearing this exact device with the same band. On days when I get less than 5,000 steps, I can burn anywhere from 2,100 to 2,500 calories. Over the course of these 7 days, with 25,000 steps, I ranged from 3,000 to 3,700 calories burned. This is a serious gain. And even if this device isn't completely accurate, that's a huge increase in calories burned. Number 2, I did not see a change in my resting heart rate, but to be fair, it was 7 days. That'd be a stretch. I also didn't see a change in my sleep score, which is Fitbit's rank of how well or poorly you're sleeping. And finally, over the course of 7 days, walking 25,000 steps per day, I lost a total of 3 pounds. If you compare that to 200 burpees a day for 30 days, where I also lost about 3 pounds over the course of those 30 days, I am completely happy with these results. When you're talking about improving cardio health and really just having a baseline of how we treat our bodies and prevent disease, walking is an amazing action we can take to improve. During the burpee challenge, I definitely gained more muscle and was working more toward body recomposition. But burpees are not realistic for everyone, and walking is a much more sustainable option for long-term habits. 25,000 steps might not be sustainable, but if you can do 25,000, you'll realize just how easy it is to walk 10 or even 15,000 steps every day. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a comment down below and watch this playlist that I've put together for you. On this channel, I do tons of self-development and empathy experiments, and I think you'll really like what I've put together for you over there. And of course, if you want to, subscribe and follow me on Instagram, because over there I'm constantly updating you on the experiments that I'm running, asking your opinion on what content you want to see next. There's a lot of activity going on over there, and I answer all of your DMs. I'll see you in the next one.